So I've spent the last 6 months trying to build a completely new career as a day trader. I've passed some evaluations, I failed plenty, I've lost money, I've made some money, I've questioned myself and questioned myself and questioned myself. I have wanted to give it all up because it's felt way too hard. But today I want to share what's kind of happened on this journey so far, because most trading videos only show the wins, and I'm nearly 7 months into this hopefully new career path. So I guess what's important about me, I feel like I'm older in life. I have had a health and social care, um, predominantly health and social care background. Um, I have worked as a in clinical practice, I've worked in managerial practice, I've worked in education, learning and development, organizational development. I've worked teaching, working with adults, working with children, so this is very different to anything that I've ever done. Um, but I guess other considerations are that I am a solo mum to quite a young aged kid, and what I felt was really important was that I could be present for them whilst they are so young, because I'm going to blink and there's going to be a time where the little one is not little anymore and doesn't need me nearly as much. And I didn't want to take another corporate role. My whole life has been long hours, high pressure, whether it's work, whether it's travel, and I just felt I need to try and do something different. I didn't want to go back into these kind of high pressured managerial roles. So for me, learning to trade wasn't about wanting a Lamborghini, it was about freedom and control over my time more than anything else. Now, I feel so um, like I was so naive, but you don't know what you don't know. So 6 months ago, almost 7 months ago, I honestly thought learning to trade, I thought that, okay, I'm going to learn some strategies, I'm going to practice the strategies, and I'm going to make money. Um, and oh my goodness, the amount of content I binged watched, strategies, traders, get sucked in absolutely with a lot of the gurus. But the big lesson that I kind of learned, and this probably took me a good couple of months, was that that there's a lot of fake gurus out there. And I just think, come on, like I get that people need to try and make a living, but I have built my whole career on kind of transparency and morals and being as open and honest as I can. And I just I can't do something that's a lie. So you get from me are very honest reviews, and you'll get the good, the bad, and the stress in between. um so yeah, that was quite a hard lesson to learn, because oh my goodness, I'd put in a lot of hours with some YouTube channel traders that I felt were really genuine. um and then for whatever reason, and I can make videos about this later on, learning that there it was all just a kind of marketing funneling sales ploy to kind of pull you in. But I do feel that I've kind of got good people around me now, so I kind of feel that, again, that has been a journey alone, has been like, credibility is really important to me. I don't want somebody that's going to pull me into this kind of sales funnel, and I want to just continually be kind of growing and moving forward. But also, what I realized about trading is that Strategy makes up about 20% of what you need to learn, but the psychology is around about 80% of that. And the market wasn't necessarily my biggest problem. I guess I was in all of this as well. So, what mistakes have I made? Lots of them. But again, you don't know what you don't know. And this section might resonate with you if you're on this journey as well. Over trading, absolutely. That was one of the first things I started doing, taking trades, not because I was bored, but just because I thought I'm going to learn faster the more trades that I make. But also, and this is still a continued problem for me, that's not quite as bad as it was, and it is lessening, but just going into a trade, if it's going in my favour, getting fearful and scratching the trade when I'm in a little bit of profit. I've gotten better with that. But what I also learned very quickly was I kind of was the opposite of that. If I was in a losing trade, I would sit there and hope, and I'd be like, oh, it's okay, it's going to turn around. I'd be less fearful to sit in a losing trade than I was to stay in a winning trade. And then I would start revenge trading because I would get to a stage where I'm like, this is not reversing, this is going against everything that I thought I had, was doing in the trade. And then I'd eventually scrap it, and then I'd spend I don't even want to talk about like the amount of time. Well, not even the amount of times because it wasn't that many times. But when I've had bad days, they've been catastrophic bad days, because I've gone into this revenge trading, trying to win back the losses immediately, and you just can't do it. Like if you've had that bad a trade, well, risk management. I should never have moved the stop losses in the first place, but that's a whole different conversation. But just I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is if I come out of a bad trade or a negative trade, we're going to lose. You're not going to win 100% of the time, no matter how good your strategy is. But just taking a breather. So now I've imposed a rule on myself that if I have quite a significant loss on a trade, I am not allowed to trade until the next session because I only trade two sessions. For me, because of time zones, it's the London session and the US session. So if I have a bad trade on the London session, that's me done until America opens up on that. So yeah, so that's kind of. But again, we're talking 6-7 months down the line. I've had to learn that. Also, trading in choppy markets has not worked well for me at all. It's almost like you're kind of taking the trade because you want to take the trade and not waiting for, which you hear a lot of people talking about, is these A plus setups. To be honest, I'm not sure many of my trades are ever A plus setups, but because and not because they're bad setups, just because for me, I'll never have that highest probability. I'm like if I can go into a trade and it's an A rather than an A plus, that's fine. But I'd say most of my trade, I would say mine are like, yeah, on analysis afterwards because I do journal all these trades. I think that's really important to start looking at because it helps you see where your patterns are, where you might be going right, where you might be going wrong. But I only ever grade myself like a B or an A, never, very rarely an A plus, and quite often I'll downgrade me to a C because I haven't. I would say one of the biggest issues I have is trading and going into a trade at a key level of potential resistance, thinking, oh, I shouldn't have gone in. I've gone in too early. Price is starting to stall. Oh, I should get out. And what I have learned as well is quite often I've gone in too early and I get out too early because price has stalled a little bit, and then it's more often than not it's moved in the direction that I'd initially gone into the trade wanting it to move in. So yeah, so that's been another lesson that I've learned as well. Um, Also, this account collecting. I got tapped into prop firm evaluations and the potential for those when I was losing a bit too much on my live account. I thought this needs to change. I'm going to end up with no live account. live account, I mean my own money that I was trading. So then I started looking at prop firms, and I just got carried away thinking I was going to pass these really quickly and really easily. The psychology has been the biggest, the reasons I've talked about, but the psychology has been the biggest hurdles that I'm looking to overcome. And with the evaluations as well, I was just like, well, I can have up to 5 accounts with this company. Oh, I can have up to 20 on this company. Buying too soon, buying in bulk, everything that we talked about from a negative perspective, and just getting carried away. I should never. Yeah, there's a couple of traders that I watch, and one of those, and he recently said it, and I'd heard it before, but I had to comment on his video afterwards because I was just like, I completely agree with you. I think one evaluation, and then just past that evaluation, then once your strategy is in place, once your psychology is in place, once your consistency is in place, you can scale those accounts up if you want to, but just pass one to begin with. And that is where I'm very close to. I don't want to tempt it. I'm very close to now, and I will be sharing that journey. I'm super excited. I definitely feel that I'm nearly there, but oh my goodness, the amount of accounts that I've bought and blown. But again, for me, and this might be different for you, but for me, trading on just back testing works when you're trying out a new strategy. It really does, and it's really valuable. But for me, I'm not in a real environment. I'm not getting the same. Oh, I don't know. It's not even the same feeling. It just doesn't like back testing and using these kind of platforms for that doesn't really work for me. I can sit in a sim account, a sim evaluation, and for me, psychology wise, I am trading the market. I trade futures and only a couple of indices. Um, for me, it really feels like I am in those environments, even though at the end of it, I'm not, I'm in an evaluation, so I'm not getting that physical money. It feels like I am trading with that actual amount of money. But what I guess is really important is that when I'm in a trading day, I'm picking one strategy from an assessment and analysis of that, the way the charts are moving and the setups and the news and the economics, all of that. But I stick to that strategy for that session, because what I will still tend to do is I'll go in following one strategy, then a minute if it's not quite going to in at the speed of which I would like it to, I then start strategy hopping and adding more indicators and just confuse myself even further. So yeah, that's another thing that I guess self-discipline really does come into it, when you're learning this trading game. But yeah, um, and I guess it's about also learning what style of trading works for you. I have found that my happy place are scalps. So when I've done analysis, my average trade is 10 to 19 minutes. There are, times where I'm in trades for a good couple hours, but I think for prop firm challenges, it kind of helps me to stay within the parameters of the rules with that. Um, but also, I'm not at a stage in my journey where I would be able to relax enough to put a trade on and just come and check it again at the end of the day, or leave it running overnight. Like it's not fitting with what I need, um, from day trading at the moment. That's not to say that I'm not going to change in the future, but for now, that's kind of where it feels like my happy place is. But it's taken a while for me to realize that. Key insights for me then have been that every strategy works sometimes. None of them work if the trader can't follow the rules. So what's changed for me has been simplifying systems, using one strategy, as I said, going into that, I've got a strategy if it's a trending day. I've got a strategy that I follow if market's ranging or if it's a bit choppy. I've got different risk management setups in play on different markets as well. And I started off, oh my goodness, I was trading indices, I was trading Forex, I was trading some stocks, I was trading some commodities, and it was just too much. Like I just couldn't. I need to just focus on one or two, and then that's me for the session. Ideally, just one, and I stick with that for both London and US sessions. I'll keep an eye on a couple of others, but my goodness, no, I don't look at. I look at a fraction of what I was looking at before. Um, when I've got more consistency and more confidence, that might change. But for now, it's much cleaner from that. From a risk management perspective, the breakthrough wasn't making more risk management decisions, it was losing less. And one of the ways that I lose less is I trade less. So I don't take any more than 2 to 3. I try to take no more than 2 to 3 trades in a day, and I'm just waiting for those setups. And that has really changed a lot for me in a positive way. When I go against that, when I've gone against that, yeah, it just generally doesn't have a positive outcome for me at all. Daily loss limits, that has really changed. Yeah, the amount of accounts that I blew because gone in, had a couple of quite significant losses, and then have revenge traded. And I've been like, yeah, I can make this back. Probably doing it more often than not in a choppy market when I should not even be on the charts, because it's just not, it's nothing's, that clarity is just not there. I'm too inexperienced to be able to navigate through that consistently successfully. And yeah, when you look back over my history, I've I've been, it's like 90% of the time I have been disciplined. Risk management's been good, analysis has been good, setups have been good, and then there's about 10, well, not even 10%. There's been like a small percentage of the time where I've been the opposite of that. I call them my I've called them, named them my maverick days, and it's just gone like spectacularly wrong. So yeah, adding more discipline for me in the, if I've had one or two bad trades, that's me done for the next session. It's really turned things around in a positive way as well. So that's gone into it. And I don't look at it with, from the perspective of how much money can I make today. I look at, can I execute properly today, which has made a huge difference. Through the last 6, 7 months that I've been doing up until now, I have used AI. I've used it as a mentor. I've not used it as a I've certainly not, and I don't think you could. You probably can, but from a signal perspective, or for setting up a trading bot, that's not interest me at all. I want to learn how to trade. That's what day trade. That is kind of it for me. So I've used it from a mentor and coaching perspective, and I get excited when I've had a day where I've been disciplined and my risk management's been good, and I've uploaded all my stats and all my insights. It's been really encouraging of how my journey is, and it is almost like, it is like having a pep talk at the end of it. And yeah, we'll look at developing a community in the future where we can do that a little bit differently. But it has really helped. It's really helped. It's helped me to not lose sight or not lose perspective. It's helped me to just iron out some little glitches in my psychology and the way that I've been trading. It's helped me to review trades as well, alongside journaling as well. And it's been an accountability partner. It's called out mistakes that I've made. It's called out And it felt like a kind of two-way process, because I will push back sometimes and I'm like, oh, hold on, you've been a bit harsh there. Or the opposite, I'm like, oh, but I done this, oh, but I done that. That kind of self-doubt. And honestly, it really helped me to kind of expedite where I am currently, with my consistency, with my analysis, with my confidence levels. And it's really helpful. It has been really helpful. It helped me to identify recurring behaviors. It never gets emotional. It never tells me what I want to hear. Almost the opposite. A couple of times I've been like, do you know what? I don't need to stop trading for the day, on days that I probably did need to stop trading. And I'm like, just be helpful. And um, it has been honest, and it's been transparent, and it's kept, repeating that. And I've gone back, and I'll admit that on more than one occasion I've apologized to it afterwards. You're all right. But it can reflect back what I'm actually doing, and that alone has accelerated my learning as well. So what does success look like? Well, what this is powerful, because 6 months ago, success was passing evaluations, big green days, fast money. Now it's not. It's following rules. It's small green days. It's protecting capital. It's finishing calmly. It's self reflection. It's mindfulness. It's not trading on days where you're just not feeling on calm form. So, like, these small green days feel much better than if it was a high volume but roller coaster of a day. I am in my happy place if I'm one and done or two and done on a trades, because I'm like, right, my analysis was correct, my setup was correct, my execution was correct, and I now have this time freedom for the remainder of the day, either to, not that I sit there and relax and don't do anything. I am doing more analysis, I am doing more research, just learning where I can. If you were to look through my algorithm feed on even YouTube, for example, it's not like masses of different traders, but it might be interviews with successful traders, and them talking about the psychology, and them talking about the journey, and them talking about what really helped for them. And I will take that on board because I understand more now. And a lot of it really resonates. So, yeah, I feel that this journey, oh, 2 months ago, I wasn't in a happy place with my progress. But right now, I'm only 6 months in. And when I think back and when I make videos like this, like, I have achieved a lot. Maybe not, yeah, relatively speaking. What I'd kind of say, if this is you looking at beginning your journey, is expect it to take a lot longer than you think. Expect to fail evaluations. Don't judge yourself by one trade. Focus on consistency before income. One strategy is enough. Risk management really is everything. Protect your confidence. Do not compare yourself to social media guru traders at all. Journal everything and stay in the game long enough to improve. Don't risk your own capital to begin with. You can pick up a prop firm challenge for as little as, you know, $30, £20, depending on where you are in the world. Like, that is a lot more sensible to do than do what I done. I transferred money into a live trading account and started trading from that before I'd understood the strategy, understood my psychology, and it didn't go well for me. It went all right for a while, and then I had a couple of maverick days where, my goodness, they were really maverick. I think the prop firm's there, and I think just take your time with it as well. I certainly haven't made it yet. I'm not funded across dozens of accounts. I'm not withdrawing huge payouts, but I'm closer today than I was 6 months ago. But the biggest changes is it makes sense. Something has clicked, and the strategies make sense. The analysis of charts makes sense. The movement makes sense. The patterns make sense. The flow. My trading is definitely calmer, mostly. I'm much more consistent, but I'd say the biggest thing is I am much more disciplined, and I'm disciplined in really specific ways that work for me and might not work for other people. So it is a journey of self-discovery as well. And that was another reason why I wanted to do it, because the skills from a lot of the research that I'd done at the start of the journey, and always before I started the journey, was that there was quite a lot of the skills that I was being told were really important to have as to be a success, consistent trader, that just weren't really part of my core personality. Or maybe they were, but I hadn't given them credit for. So those are coming out over time as well. And as I said, feeling really positive at the moment, and I genuinely believe that this can work. Not because I found a magical strategy, but because I finally started working on the trader in me. And I guess we need to remember that success isn't built in the moments when everything goes right. It's built in the moments when you choose to keep going after things go wrong. And definitely keep going. And if you need any encouragement or you want to reach out, please do so, because this doesn't need to be a journey that we go along on our own.